Welcome back to another great episode of Comedians in Bed Felines. As always, I got another great guest here with us today. Man, this dude is very funny. One of the funniest comedians in Ohio, I would say. Also in the Midwest. He's doing his thing. If you don't know him, you'll know him after today. Please, everybody, give it up for my man, Jerrel Beamon. What's going on, man?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So many kind words said, man. Oh my goodness. Thank you for having me, dude. I appreciate it. I done seen a few clips of this shit too, man. You have my dude Kyron Harrell on.
Oh, yeah.
I checked that joint out.
That's
Yeah, you doing some good shit.
I ain't never got a chance to ask you. When did you cut off your dreads and when did you cut them off? I used to have locks too, so I know what it feels like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Because everybody was shocked when I did it, but shoot, I cut them shit. When Hey, babe, when did I cut my dreads? What was it like? Shit, September maybe?
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, September, October, and I cut them because man, just the long hair it started being too much. Like it was a good look, but man, it's always on getting. It felt like a weight's gone off me now. I feel a lot more free,
Yeah.
and then it don't get in my face. Like it gets in your face whenever, because I hated tying my shit up. So
Yeah.
yeah, I had to get rid of them joints, man.
What did you comb them out or did you like clip them then comb them out?
Man, this it took like 7 hours to, because I didn't want to go straight up just all gone. I wanted like a fro and shit. And
Yeah.
my dad actually did it. He told me if I went to the barber shop or the salon, I would have spent probably like over $200, man. Because like the process was way too. He had to clip them, then like kind of pick it out a little bit from the roots. Yeah, I don't know, man. How long you had your dreads?
I've
How
been
long do
doing
you have?
it for like 6 years.
Yeah. Me, it was like 5. Yeah, I was like 5 years in on them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my mom, she still got hers. I don't know why, but she still got hers.
You
So
say, know what? I mean, I'll get them back one day. It just, man, they were inconvenient for a lot of reasons, man. Whenever I got upset at the
mhm.
crib, like at my chick or at my cat or whatever, I'd just be like, kind of, cause I talk with my hands a lot, but then I feel my hair flick over my shoulder, and then I would like have to flop it off, and it just made me look so sassy. Like I didn't, I wasn't into it, bro.
I don't miss having them because maybe it's just me because I had a lot of PTSD, but my dreads would like scare me. Like I would think somebody is like behind me and
Oh, I get you.
I'm like behind me and I'm like, oh, that's my hair. Like so that yeah, I don't miss that. I don't miss doing that for sure. Cause you just doing that randomly on the sidewalk, people think you're crazy.
Yeah.
For sure, man. For sure. That's what's up. How are you feeling now that they're off? Is your
um,
demeanor on stage different?
Honestly, no. That's what's weird. No, I had a joke that revolved around them a little bit. But all I do now is say I used to have dreads, and I just still tell the joke. But yeah, nah, my demeanor definitely ain't changed. I'll say what bothered me when I cut them. Everybody thought it looked good. They're like, "Oh, the fro's dope. You look good." But some people were saying shit like, "Now I'm more marketable," or like, "Now I'm more like." Accessible. It was weird. They were saying weird shit like that. Like I did it for to be palatable. But no, I was over the dreads, So now I'm a little salty that it makes me look I guess more safe to some people. But you know.
That's crazy. When I first cut them off, I was start going back to Ohio State and I was doing like working for the news and stuff. They were telling me that my fro was like probably wasn't going to be acceptable even from like black people. Some people like to say
Yeah.
it. But then like when I was watching like ESPN and stuff, they all had like fros, like Jamel Hill had micro braids and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
it's kind of crazy what they think will be acceptable or not. Until you put
Bro.
that person out there, you don't know what people are going to accept.
Dude, it's crazy because this is something that I feel like a lot of white folks might not, or our pilgrim cousins, as I'll say. A lot of them don't understand. That's stupid. You done hit the button. But they don't understand a lot of things we'll go through just having our natural texture of hair. You know, like for high school, I went to a private Catholic high school, and dude, they were like saying that my hair was extreme. When it was just an afro and shit. And then they wanted me to cut it, but they were too scared to tell me to cut it. So they had like one of the only black faculty members who I didn't have her, and I never had her as a teacher, nothing. She's just like, "Hey, you need to cut your hair." And I'm like, "Bro, what? What?" She's like, "Well, it's getting too long." I'm like, "What? No, it's growing up. It don't go. It's not long. The pilgrims. It don't go down. It goes up. Like, what y'all talking about?"
I
But
was
they really get intimidated by our natural shit, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird.
yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, somebody, my friend, I went over his house for 1 year for Thanksgiving, and I seen his grandma. I met his grandma for the first time, and then I seen his grandma again when he graduated college. And she was like, "Oh, I'm so glad you cut off your hair because you was looking like a girl." I was like, "Wait, what?"
Oh,
Like, it's like
yo.
crazy how people like perceive you after you like when you had it and like when you don't have your hair anymore. It's crazy.
Oh man, getting mistaken for a female, it'd be hurting, man. Somebody thought that one time they saw me from behind when I had the locks, because them when I had them, the longest they were, man. I mean, that shit hit my waist all
Yeah,
the way down. It's crazy.
yeah. No, that's wild. One of the
But
things that my fault. Go ahead.
no. I'm about to say, yo, thanks for having me on this joint. I'm really, for real. I just want to let you know I was appreciative. I felt honored when you messaged me wanting to fuck with me, man. As if I have something interesting to say. I appreciate it. But I didn't mean to cut you off. I just was trying to be polite.
Oh,
But
you good? Nah, you good, man. Yeah, I definitely have to get you on, man. You always good people. It's always a good pleasure being around you and doing shows with you. Well, I was
dude,
about
you're funny as fuck, bro. And I
to.
know sometimes people get salty at me or think I don't be thinking that, because I don't be putting everybody on when it comes to shit and that's what sucks about being a booker slash comic with shit, because some people take a lot of things personally. But no, you're even though I haven't thrown you lines of work, like I remember when you came down to the brewery show I was running. Like Mo was like, "Yo, King," he was like acting like I didn't know you. Like, "Yo, my man," I was like, "Yo, it's Ty. Let him go up." Because I used to see you come down to Wiley's just doing 5 minute spots, man. And I remember me and my pops, we still talk about the jokes sometimes where you said white. It's some shit with white people in ancestry.com, man. I'm butchering the fuck out of it, but you like, man, we shouldn't have to pay for it. I forget how you said that joint, man. But I was like, this nigga's stupid.
Nah, man, I appreciate that, man. No, I think you're very hilarious. I used to be not intimidated by you like as a man or as a person, but I was like, okay, if he's on this show, I definitely gotta do good. So that's yeah, for sure. One of the things I was about to say was that every time I'm at the show, one of the things that I actually like love about it so much is that your dad is like always with you. Like he is
Yeah,
always with you.
yeah.
Like when Diddy get out, nothing's ever gonna happen to you. Your dad's always gonna be
Right. Yeah, people be saying pops, man. He looks out. Nah,
how
pops.
is it how is it like having your dad like support your dreams and stuff?
It's weird, man. It's dope, but it's weird because it's like, man. When I first told him I wanted to do stand up, I was 10. I was 10 years old when I knew I wanted to do stand up. And when I told him, he didn't think it was a good idea at all. Like he was like, "What?" Like, because I was a real smart kid. I got really good grades and shit. He's kind of like, "Bro, like, why don't you like go to college?" He was pushing a little bit against it. And plus, he was in his head like, "Bro, like, because he actually is a comedy fan, so he knew a lot of the stories that like the comics have gone through in the business and the industry. He just knew in the beginning doing it, you don't make a whole lot of money and this and that. So he's kind of like wasn't for it, but he saw how persistent I was on it, And he saw I was taking it serious, like even in high school. Like I was signing up for talent shows and shit because I didn't think I could go to the clubs yet. So I was finding ways to do it, and he would help me, man. For my talent show audition, I had to do my set in front of this nigga, like, cause he was like, "Bro, I'll let you do the talent show if you like do your set, what you're gonna do." Like, so I had to write these jokes, and I performed for him in the living room, and he didn't laugh at all. Like the whole time I was doing my shit, zero laughs. Like I'm dying in the living room. I'm dying. I'm giving him all my material, but then at the end, he was like, "That first one was funny, but you could move this line here." Like he was giving me notes and shit because he's a real fan, man. Me and him, we would watch specials together, just study comedy and shit. So really, he doesn't just come out because he's fucking with me, supporting me. He really also loves the craft, and he loves supporting other local or regional comics, or even like it's been famous comics I've worked with who've been like, "Damn, your pops is really like a fan. Like he knows his shit." Like I don't know if you know who Bob Sumner is. We used to co-create Def Comedy Jam, and I had opportunity to work with him numerous times out at in New Jersey, and then he booked me for the Apollo. Like he really fucked with me heavy, and he knows a lot about the game. But bro, when my dad went me out there in New Jersey, like Bob's like talking to him like, "So what you think about some of the comics that went?" Because like fucking Pops is that analytical. So when he really likes the joke, it means he fucks with that joke, and he brings up that joke from you all the fucking time. Like he thought that shit was so funny, bro.
That's what's up, man. Nah, man, he's all like, because I used to coach track, and one of the things I noticed about coaching track was like none of the dads were ever there. Not saying that they're not, like in their lives might
Um,
have been or whatever, but like your dad is like always there, and I think that's just like so dope. And so like foreign to me. Like I get happy when an old dude say he like my joke. I'm like this so
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I
Like
feel you.
your dad is always there, like that's super dope, especially like a parent being there in general. Because like with black parents, like I don't know. I guess you gotta like make it first until they be like, okay, like
All right. Well, man, you're right about that, man. But it's like one thing my folks will always put in my head when I was a kid. They will always say like, if you're gonna be whatever you're gonna be the best at what you're trying to be. So like they would say to me like, "Shit, man, if you want to work at McDonald's or be a fucking janitor, be the best motherfucking janitor that you could be. Be a professional about it. Treat it like a craft, even if it's the most little thing." And my mom and my pops, they didn't really understand the stand up shit, but they knew that my mentality was gonna be that in stand up. And plus, I mean, not to toot my own horn, but I was doing pretty good at it. Like starting off, it was starting off good, and then I'm doing it, full time now, and I'm doing more things with it. Still coming up, but nah, they're real supportive. Now, other niggas in the family, nah, they weren't on this train. They weren't with the ride till they saw like my name on the Apollo marquee and shit. Like, damn, this nigga must be going somewhere. Then all of a sudden they're like, hey, come over here.
nah, man. That's so dope. How did you get linked up with performing at the Apollo? I know it's been some time, but and then how
Yeah. How did what?
how was that experience?
Oh, the experience. Yeah. Well, I got linked to it because it's real. It's a weird thing because it's a domino effect, kind of. Because like comics, it's like a journey of shows you do, and even like the littlest, weird, shittiest show, if you look back, kind of was like a whole domino effect to get you to somewhere where you ended up being. Because I'll say right, the short answer, I got on to Apollo because I got seen by Bob Sumner, the co-creator of Def Comedy Jam in Akron. He saw me out there, exchanged info, flew out to New Jersey, did the festival out there, filmed a half hour, did all that shit, and then he booked me for the Apollo a little after that because I just kept doing good on all these shows, and the experience was dope, and that's the short part. But the domino effect part is, nigga, I got on basically at the Apollo because one night I decided to do an open mic in the parking lot of Wiley's, comedy club before they closed in the parking lot in Dayton, Ohio, and it was raining. It was like 11:30 at night. There was like maybe 20 people in the parking lot. I did that, and that slowly led me down the path where I went because I met a comic named Evan Lewis that night. That dude put me on in Louisville, stayed at his crib. I did the Caravan, did Mr. Bikey's mic. I don't know if you know who Mr. Bikey is out of Louisville, but this nigga is a fool. He had a comedy club and a hair salon that, like, when it'd be sold out, niggas would be sitting in the dryer seats and shit. Dude, it was a mess. But he booked me there off of doing his mic, and I featured there for like probably like fucking $50 or whatever. It was just a small gig. But then I meet Megan Hill out of Canton, Ohio, who's booking a showcase for Bob Sumner up there. I'm like, bet I'll do it, but I ended up chickening out, bro. I chickened out last minute. Then she does an open mic at Wiley's. It's like, oh, the fucking thing's happening again. I'm like, I'm ready now, nigga. I've been putting in work. I'm ready. And then boom, did it. And then it led me to that. But the weird thing is, if I never did that shitty, weird parking lot open mic, I would have never met the dude that told me to come down and do everything I ended up doing. That's why I'm like, I say to all comics, including myself, I still tell it to myself, like, dude, you never know. Like, just try to do your thing every time you're on stage, because you never know what can build off of, you know.
Yeah, that's a wild, crazy story that I think you'll never forget. Especially now that Wiley's is gone. How does it feel now that Wiley's is gone? That was
Man,
like the first out of town mics that I hit.
man, Wiley's being gone is crazy because I did stand up straight out of high school. Like, I was doing it while I was in high school, but I started at the clubs and the bars like right out of high school. I was 17 years old. My parents would take me to Wiley's. That was the first spot because we Dayton Funny Bone was around, but they didn't have an open mic. You wasn't just gonna get on at Dayton Funny Bone, and then I didn't know where the bar mics were. I'm a fucking kid. I'm like, I don't know. So we went to Wiley's, man. I had my first guest spot at Wiley's before I even did the open mic. I was 17. My history teacher, knew I wanted to do stand up, Mr. Ramsey. He knew that I was doing talent shows, and he had a cousin that would do shows at Wiley's, and they got me on. And I did 5 minutes, and they just welcomed me in. They just said, as long as you bring your parents, you can get on. And man, from there, that's been like a second home. Like, that's like my college. I never went to college. I mean, I fucked around 1 year community college, but nigga, that's just daycares for adults. I didn't do but but yeah, bro, that was my college, man. My peers were those comedians, the older guys, man. I'm 17. My peers are, 30s, 40s, because after the quarantine, after the pandemic, you started seeing way more younger people doing stand up than it ever was. There were always some around, especially in bigger scenes. But man, after quarantine, like, I don't even feel alone no more when I hit these smaller markets in these cities. Nigga, everyone young is like, let me go fucking do some crowd work and shit, and fucking post a TikTok and all that shit. They're all in the mix. But no, my peers coming up at
Yeah,
Wiley's was the OGs, man. And it being gone, it's like a piece of the Ohio comedy scene is kind of, gone, bro. It's unfortunate that it had to go, but it was a home to me and a lot of comics.
how do you guys build a community or find quality stage time now that Wiley's is gone?
One thing I'll say is shout out Kevin Rupert. Kevin Rupert, he's a comic based down here in Dayton, Ohio, and he started a comedy club called Bricky's Comedy Club, and it's not a traditional brick and mortar club, but it's kind of like there's a club like this in Detroit called the Independent, where it's a room that's inside of an already established business. The Independent is in an improv theater, and then Bricky's is inside a big brewery called Star City Brewing. But the room that it's in for the comedy is great. It's a dope room. He's good at getting solid turnouts. He's building a following, and they also broke a world record for longest comedy show ever, which was 81 hours, which is fucking crazy. But that spot's basically been where a lot of the comics have been going. A lot of these newer guys, that's like a home club to them. Even though it's not what Wiley's was for me, I'm understanding that it's like a Wiley's to the newer comics in the scene. And a lot of us are gravitating there. I'm putting on shows there. I'm starting to help out and run the open mic as well. They're doing more shows. And then Carmichael's Pub, bro. I gotta shout out them. I know a lot of motherfuckers don't. It's Carmichael's Pub is like an open mic at a fucking dive bar. You done it before? Have you pulled up the Carmichael's Pub? Oh my god, yeah, fucking Carmichael's, dog. Because certain scenes be having a mic, even if it's at like a bar. That it's a mic that is just synonymous with the comedy scene in the city. I think in Columbus, y'all shit, it closed, man. Y'all had one.
Fucking head.
Yeah, the shrunken head, like comics would just come through. Even motherfuckers that are out of town just coming through off the road or just pulling up. That type of mic. Every city has a mic like that. And Carmichael's, that's Carmichael's, man. A lot of the comics, they'll pull up. Not so much a lot of the working guys, but a lot of the local or newer comics will come through. Even people off the road will come through. I pull up a lot to watch the new cats or to work on a new material. But I watch the new cats because on a lot of my shows, I reserve a guest spot for new comics because I like to show shine to newer comics that are putting in work in the local scene, man, because that helped me a lot coming up. But Carmichael's is a spot that still has community. And shout out the new club off Siementhaler, Black Comedy Club, Laugh House, Laugh Zone Comedy. That's what's called Laugh Zone. Gotta mess with that, man. It's a space for a lot of the urban comics in the city. I felt like they weren't that welcome at the Pilgrim stuff. They want to go over and kick it over there, so I gotta shout them out. But yeah, we figuring it out.
I like Bricky's. I think I've only been like once or twice. I like Bricky's, but I feel like Bricky's is a sundown time.
Yeah, it's in that Miamisburg.
Midnight Six, bro. I was like, oh no, they
Hey,
weird.
homie, the spot. I'll give you this: the block that is kind of on where you got to kind of turn around. I will admit it's weird, especially when they had their car show every year there, dude. It's weird as fuck. You said sundown.
Let's talk about this show that you do around comedy for the people. How did you come up with that? Because comics, we start doing comedy, then we start venturing off and producing and stuff. What made you could produce that?
I'll say it started because I just got back. This is probably like 2 years ago. I just got back from New Jersey. I was doing shows out there for Bob Sumner and Mark Gregory. If you're familiar with him, Mark Gregory, and those who aren't familiar, nephew of Dick Gregory. Great comic, and I mean he's one of the best. But originally from Dayton, Ohio, actually, and he knew that I was doing my thing, so he hit me up like, "Hey, do you want to have your own night?" And I thought he meant like headlining a show because I was starting to close out shows. So I'm like, bet. And then he was like, "All right, I'll get you in contact with Danger." And I'm like, "What?" Okay, whatever. And then I get added in like a group chat. Like, all right, Danger, this is Jerrel. He'll get you connected with the show and everything. I'm like, what? I just I didn't even ask no questions. I'm like, all right, I just gotta talk to Danger to perform at the show or whatever. And then Danger calls me like a day later and it's basically like, hey, I'm trying to get a comedy night going. And I'm like, oh shit. He wants to like start a show. Cause at that point I never ran a show. Cause I put on more since Comedy for the People, I produced so many other shows. So to me now it's just like you just do it. But at the time I'm like, what the fuck? A show? What do they want that from me for? But I just on the phone, I was telling them everything. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. I winged it, and he went with everything I said, and it wasn't because he was dumb. No, he's a smart dude. I just said a lot of things that I heard comics mention, just because I always soaked up game. I ask questions a lot with comics I look up to, or just older comics that been in the game really long. So even though I never produced a show, I asked so many questions before in the past. I kind of knew what to ask for and what to say. And then we did the night at Oscar's Bar and Grill in Vandalia. That was the venue. Unfortunately, they burned down. Somebody burnt the shit down. So yeah, but it started there. Yeah, yeah. It started out there, and I asked my dude, my comedy brother man, Deontay Allen. I hit him up because at the time he had his show in the cut that was in the Oregon district. So I knew he had an experience with how to really structure a show. And plus I thought he was one of the best hosts that I've seen, period. Like not even just in comedy, but just for events. Like he could host a comedy show, a county fair, a fucking whatever. He could do it. So I was like, I kind of wanted him in the mix because I didn't want to host every single show, and then I also wanted like guidance on moves to make and shit. So I got him involved. First show at Oscars sold out. It only sat like 60 people, but it sold out. And then everybody's like, yeah, well, the first one always sells out. Then boom, the second one sold out. Then the third one sold out. Then the venue burned down. And then gracious, thank the Lord, Wiley's Comedy Club allowed us to take it there. And then that was the home for it until Wiley's closed. So I don't know what the fuck it is about the show, but that shit closed. And now we're at Bricky's Comedy Club, and we've also done shit at Commonwealth Sanctuary in Dayton, Kentucky. But yeah, it's called Comedy for the People because it's a diverse lineup, and it's comedy for all people. That's the whole thing.
That's what's up. Yeah, man. I like to see people producing shows, stretching out stuff like that.
You you
And
got your show.
also,
Yeah, no, plug it.
it always looked like a good time, man. Now that you're full time, like what are like your goals and plans now? Like, are you trying to market yourself, or are you focused on that? Or are you just trying to get to other markets just for them to see you? Like, what's the goal now?
The goal is definitely because I'll tell you this. My main goal has always been to try to be one of the best at it, man. That's the craft is what I really love. But now that it's like income and this is my job, I'm more like business wise, and what I'm trying to do now is kind of build up an audience. So I'm posting more on social media, I'm creating content and getting into bigger markets, like you said. Like I was just in Chicago, and I go out there pretty often. New York, New Jersey. I'm going down to Austin 2025, and just building on those relationships and getting better at the craft.
Bro, I didn't even know like you were. I keep forgetting like you're so young. like I be
Yeah,
I do, but you don't act like it though. I think that's the thing. Like here, like with the young comics, they act young, and I'll be like, I don't want to talk to y'all.
yeah, man. I totally understand, man. Because you know, the thing is, it's so many older people tend to do stand up because for you to kind of have a good sense of humor and a perspective, you kind of got to understand yourself, kind of, And when you're younger, you really don't know shit. Like, I don't know shit. Even though like people tell me I have a good head on my shoulders and stuff, I don't know fucking anything. And that's why I'm not really where I want to be at yet on stage. Everybody tells me how great I am now, but I'm like, dude, I still don't really understand my perspective. It's just that, I know how to articulate myself well enough and I have a good sense of humor. But age comes with that, man. So I understand why you're like some of these young comics are like, what the fuck? Cause yeah, they're young. You remember what it was like he was younger and shit. Like, we don't know
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. Then like I was younger, I used to be like toxic. So now it's like I don't want to be around. So I'll be like,
Yeah.
you feel like the old grumpy dude because I'll be 34 next. So I'll be
Oh, for
like,
real? I didn't
yeah.
even know you was 30. Wow, nigga, I thought you was in your 20s. I'm not gonna hold you. Thought it was late 20s. I ain't gonna hold you, bro.
So like when I get off stage, I'll be like, yeah, let me go home. I don't want to be here.
Well, how old were you when you started it? When you
when I
started?
when I started, I was 20. I started in 2019, so I was 28.
Okay.
I was 28 when I started. Yeah. But when I see people like you, it make me feel, well, you can't take it back. But I was like, dang, I wish I would have just went straight out of like high school. You know what I'm saying? Like, granted, I had the life experience that I have, and it made me the person I am today. But like, I feel like a lot of people kind of just pussyfoot around until they like find the courage to do what they want to do. That's why I kind of like, well, not kind of. That's why I admire you because you. When I found out how old you were, I was like, oh, this is what he's doing. I was not doing this at this age. I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, let me get a degree. Like,
Yeah, man. I appreciate that, bro. I really do. Um, I don't know. So I might be just very sure of myself or very stupid, bro. It's one of the other, because I just went right into it. Everybody always was like, really? Like, dude, you probably get asked that too sometimes with just going into stand up. They be like, aren't you like nervous? Or aren't you scared? How do you go up in front of all those people?
yeah. I'm kind of used to being in the center of attention, even though because I went to like I'm a theater kid, so that's why. But
Oh,
I would say the reason why you are like that is because you got your daddy. This is the benefits of having your daddy in your life.
yeah, right. Nah, big help, bro. He
no, I,
told me from the jump, like, nigga, if you gonna do it for real. So yeah, in a way, I couldn't really just drag my feet because he's like, if you gonna do it, you gotta go at it. And Mom Dukes, I got because some people don't, my mom ain't like a fan of the craft like my dad, so a lot of comics don't really get to see her the same way. But dude, always on my ass about if you're gonna try something, fucking actually try. Don't try to do the shit if you ain't gonna take it serious.
yeah, yeah. So now that you're like you got a name for yourself, you're full time. Do you plan on staying in Dayton, seeing that you guys don't have Wiley's anymore, but you have Ricky's and you also have Chappelle's Club as well? How are you navigating this? Because I'm starting to come up with a plan. Or like, do I stay here? Do I leave? Where's your mindset? Are you tempted to leave? Are you tempted to stay? Where are you at?
Well, right now, I'm definitely thinking, a big reason why I kind of stay in Dayton is because it's very cheap and affordable. That's a big thing about. I even have a whole joke about how fucking cheap it is here. So even though I do like want to eventually get out, I'm kind of like, damn, man, I'm gonna be spending way more money living in a bigger scene. Where I'm at right now, I'm able to visit out and stay for like a while because I know people out there. And, I get the shows out there and I make my money, and then I come the fuck back, the Dayton where I can just chill. I kind of like that right now, but I am doing more extended leaves. Like, I'm going out to Austin for like 2 months, going out to Chicago for 2 weeks, just doing things like that. But I don't know about moving just right now, especially, my girl's still in school, and I'm a simp, I can't leave, so right now that's my plan. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I know.
Hey, is the way that you said it with a smile like I'm a simp. what you doing, man? I don't know how much longer I can stay out here, my motherfucker.
Yeah, like I'll start missing her. I'm like, damn, where's she at? But yeah, that's the answer right now where I'm at with it. But yeah, it's definitely good to go out. I say that to any comics. Go out. Even if you can't move right away, go the fuck out.
I'm gonna ask you this one more question before we start to wrap it up.
Uh-huh.
'Cause maybe you still do, but maybe I just haven't seen it because I'm not on there. But when I first saw you, you was always wearing a dashiki. Where's the dashiki at?
Dude, I've kind of slowed down, man. Yeah, I would rock that a lot, man. I would. Usually when the summer hits is when you'll see me rocking it way more. When we're in more in the winter season, I slow down. But yeah, man, you got me geeked, nigga. I got like 4 of them bitches in the closet, and I'm about to get more now that you done brought it back up.
Hey, yo, a dashiki bubble coat? That might be your merch. A dashiki bubble?
Oh, bro. Don't get me started. don't get don't hey, me you gotta come up with some ideas, damn it. You said it's stupid as hell, man.
I've never seen a dashiki bubble cup. I don't know why that hasn't happened yet. That I can see it now. That's dope. Yeah, it's fresh. But no, I just like to wrap this up. We always ask the same questions that we ask everybody, so I'm gonna ask you the same thing. Who is on your Mount Rushmore for comedy?
Oh damn, that means 4. Damn. Alright. Okay. All right, wait, when you ask that, do you mean just my personal favorites or just the ones that I think are like the greatest of all time? Because to me, that's 2 different lists. I got my personal best to me, but I don't think they're like the greatest of all time. And I have the greatest. Because yeah, that's a loaded question for me, bro.
Personal.
Personal, okay, personal is easier. That's easy. All right, personal. Richard Pryor for sure. It's on Mount Rushmore. Dave Chappelle. He's on. He's on. Louis C.K. and Patrice O'Neal. That's
Okay.
my personal Mount Rushmore.
I never thought about this, but do you think a person's Mount Rush? I'm not just saying this because you had Louis C.K. on there, but
Oh shit.
do you think a person's Mount Rushmore is kind of like a reflective? It's like kind of like a reflection of like their comedy style.
Yeah, yeah. When you ask like the personal, yeah, because a comic who they're a fan of deeply affects their style of comedy. Like Eddie Murphy said, his main favorite comic was Richard Pryor, and you see it in Delirious and Raw. Like you can just see it, and he admits to it. Now I'll say I ain't beating off in green rooms and shit. But comedy wise, I do get dark and cynical kind of like Louis. And I love his timing. Richard Pryor, I love his storytelling. I love how personal he gets on stage. Dave Chappelle, he's very intellectual. And Patrice just never gave a fuck, and these are all elements that I really love to implement in my own.
Yeah, when you said Patrice, that's what made me answer that question. I was like, okay, that makes sense. Um, what piece of advice or encouragement could you give to any young comedian or comedian that's listening to this right now?
Um, I'll say piece of advice to a young comic starting out, I say is try to be consistent and you can't just do one open mic a month and think you're gonna really get better or you're gonna start moving up. Because I'll see new comics be like, man, how do I get put on all these secret shows? And it's like, nigga, it's only a secret to you because you're not getting out. If you're consistent with it, especially in smaller markets like Dayton or Cincinnati and Columbus, even though these are good comedy scenes, especially Cincinnati and Columbus, really strong scenes. Nigga, you're not gonna get on unless you show face. Like if you're showing face and people see you're taking it serious and you're developing your type 5 minutes of jokes and you're being professional, You're gonna move up. So be consistent and be professional. And that could go towards any comic too. Be consistent and professional. Treat this shit like your job. It's not you pulling up the smoke and just fuck around and just tell fart jokes and shit to niggas in the green room while you're not watching the show. You know, it's to get but and to get better.
Hold on. Fuck, I missed it.
Message.
I was so
Hey, I love that. What's that?
I was caught up what you were saying. I was like, damn, we preaching right now. All right, yeah. And if you see me after the show with a blunt, don't ask because I don't share my blunts after COVID. So don't do
Smart, smart.
don't. But Jerrel, tell people why they should listen to comedians in bed.
I'll say you should listen to comedians in bed because if you are, I'll say this is why I probably love this so much when because I looked at the clips and I looked at some episodes. Is if you're a fan of comedy, if you're really a fan of the craft, or you just like hearing about comedy, this is a show you want to watch because it really gets in the mind of comics. And I feel like most casual comedy fans don't really understand the in depths of it. Like if you think about it, all the shows you done at clubs, you know, in theaters, bars, wherever, nigga, there's been a bunch of people in those audiences that thought you made everything up right then when you were on stage. You were just talking. You know, if you're doing it the right way, you know, like because my style is very conversational, and motherfuckers will be like really thinking I'm freestyling, and they don't understand. No, this is a craft where we do these jokes repeatedly. We're hitting mics. We're at shows. We're refining. You know, and this show really goes in depth about that. So if you're a real, you know, comedy nerd like I am, I'm not just a comedian. I'm a comedy nerd. You know, this is a show that I would say you definitely want to fucking tune into.
Jerrel, where can people find you at, man?
Find me at Drell's Comedy on Instagram, TikTok, same name. Facebook, cause I'm on the books. I fucks with the books. I fucks with the oldies, man. Hop on Facebook. It's just my government, Jerrel Beamon, JerrelBeamon. Just go on there. YouTube, same thing. So just look up my name. You gonna find me, bruh.
On my YouTube channel, we go live every Tuesday at TYE Comedy at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you missed the live stream, that's okay because we got you covered. You could stream this wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you missed the if you missed the live stream, you don't have the podcast, that's all right. We got you covered on IG at Comedians in Bed Podcast. I want to thank my man Jerrel Beamon one more time for joining us today. Check out his show if you're in Dayton, Comedy for the People. And if you're not in Dayton, be sure to check him out in a city near you. We want to thank my man Jerrel one more time. Everybody else, see you guys next week.